The conversation ended hours ago. It was fine. Nobody's upset. Nobody's upset. But you're still in it. You're rewinding to the part where you laughed too loud, or the pause that lasted a beat too long, or the thing you said that came out sharper than you meant, and you can't stop editing a conversation that's already over. I'm Sarah. And that replay isn't overthinking. It's your brain trying to finish something it never felt safe enough to start. You know this one. You're brushing your teeth and suddenly you're back in the conversation from lunch, except now you're saying the thing you actually meant instead of the thing that came out. You're driving home and rewriting your half of a phone call that ended 20 minutes ago. You're lying in bed running the same 3 sentences on a loop, testing different versions, checking if any of them would have landed better. And the strangest part is that most of these conversations weren't even bad. Nothing blew up. Nobody got hurt. You just walked away with this low hum of something unfinished, and your brain decided that the only way to resolve it was to have the conversation again, alone, in your head, over and over, with better lines. This isn't a flaw in your focus. It isn't obsessing. It's actually one of the more precise things your brain does, because what it's searching for in that replay isn't a mistake. It's searching for the moment where you stopped being honest and started performing, and it's trying to close the gap between what you said and what you actually meant. Here's what's actually happening when you can't let a conversation go. Your brain tracks unfinished experiences the way an open tab drains a battery. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect. Your mind gives disproportionate attention to tasks and experiences that feel incomplete. Finished things get filed away. Unfinished things stay active, pulling resources, demanding resolution. But a conversation isn't a task. So what makes one feel unfinished? It's not about what was said. It's about what wasn't. Your brain tags a conversation as incomplete when there's a gap between your internal experience and what you actually expressed. You felt something real, and what came out of your mouth was a diluted, edited, socially acceptable version of it. The conversation ended, but the feeling didn't get expressed, so your brain keeps the file open. Each replay is an attempt at resolution. Your mind drafts a better version of you, one who said the real thing, who didn't laugh it off, who held the pause instead of filling it. It's running a simulation of what the conversation would have looked like if you'd been fully present instead of managing how you were coming across. The replay isn't the problem. The problem is that something in the original moment made full honesty feel too expensive. That calculation, the one that says, the real answer is too risky, give them the safe one, didn't start with this conversation. It started in rooms where saying the wrong thing had actual consequences. Maybe the room was one where a parent's mood could shift without warning, and you learned to measure every sentence before you released it. Maybe it was a dinner table where honesty was technically allowed, but disagreement was punished with silence. Maybe it was a friendship where saying how you actually felt once got you frozen out for a week, and your brain filed that under. Being real costs more than performing. Whatever the room was, your brain cataloged a rule. Unfiltered honesty is a gamble, and it's been applying that rule to every conversation since, even the ones with people who would welcome the unfiltered version, even the ones where the stakes are so low that nothing you said could possibly matter by tomorrow. Here's the paradox. The replay exists because you didn't feel safe enough to be fully present in the conversation, but the replay itself is your brain practicing the honesty it was too afraid to use in real time. You're not stuck in the past. You're rehearsing for a version of yourself who gets to speak without calculating the cost first. Your brain won't let the conversation end because it knows you weren't fully in it when it was happening. There's something underneath the replays that I don't think you've let yourself notice. Every time you rewrite a conversation in your head, you're revealing who you actually wanted to be in that moment. The you who doesn't backtrack. The you who holds the honest answer instead of deflecting with a joke. The you who lets a silence sit instead of rushing to fill it with something safe. That person exists. You've met them 1,000 times in the reruns, but you've never once let them into the live conversation because the rooms you grew up in taught you that the live version of honesty was the one that got you in trouble. That's the cost of the replays. Not the lost sleep, not the distraction. The cost is that you've spent years getting to know a version of yourself that only exists in private, in the after, in the quiet space where no one can react to what you say. You've been having your most honest conversations alone, The precision it took to do that, to track every social interaction so carefully that you always know exactly what the gap was between what you said and what you felt. That isn't anxiety. That's a kind of emotional fluency most people never develop. You became someone who can read a room before the room reads you. That took years of attention that nobody asked you to give. You weren't overthinking. You were trying to get back to yourself. The replay was never the problem. It was the only place you felt safe enough to be honest. And the fact that you keep going back means the honest version of you is still in there, still waiting, still rehearsing for the day the live conversation feels safe enough to let them speak. If you had to describe what the replay is searching for in one sentence, what would you say? And if this helped, send it to someone who's definitely still thinking about something they said at dinner last night. Thanks for watching. If any of this resonated with you, or even if it didn't, I'd genuinely love to hear your take, so drop a comment below and tell me how you feel. And if you'd like more videos like this, a like and subscribe really helps the channel grow. I appreciate you being here. See you in the next one.